I tell you what I've been watching though. I've been enthralled with this Menendez brother documentary on Netflix. I'm like, I forgot. I when all that shit happened. I mean, I was like in high school or junior high or high school when all that happened, and now that they released this, it's like a 9 episode. I don't know. It's not a documentary. It's a sitcom, like not sitcom, but just a 9 part miniseries on the Menendez trial, and it's so goddamn good. I mean, the the acting's good. It for my age group and my demographics, it's just taking me down memory lane, bro. Outside the murders, which was a lot, but the fact the brothers are singing Milli Vanilli in the first episode, and I was like, oh my god, Milli Vanilli was the shit, and then everybody found out they were fake. I was so hurt. I was like, what? Milli Vanilli? Is it really Milli Vanilli? Or is it just Vanilli's fake and Millie's real? Or something. I don't know if you guys remember that. That group, Milli Vanilli, they was like top of the food chain. The #1 group in the world. And then come to find out they were lip syncing all their songs. And they got found out when back then they were doing a concert, one of them MTV concerts, and the music got stuck. So they was like, blame it on the, blame it on the, blame it on the, blame it on the. And you can see they just freeze. And then they tried to dance it off. And then they had to come back. And after that, they was exposed that it was other people singing their songs. I completely forgot about Milli Vanilli. I started looking them up again and started playing their music again because of Monsters, the Menendez brothers story on Netflix. But then there's an ongoing joke within the miniseries, and I guess Kyle, what was it, Lyle? Hold on, let me see which one. One of the brothers wrote a screenplay, and it was about killing his parents. And hold on, let me find out which one it is. Menendez brother. Eric wrote the screenplay. Yeah. So it was Lyle and Eric. Eric wrote the screenplay, and he called it Friends. And you keep hearing them saying, nobody's ever going to watch a movie or a TV show called Friends. And they keep saying it over and over again. It's like an ongoing joke. As we know, Friends became one of the biggest sitcoms in the history of television. It reminds me of, I don't know if it was it the documentary on O.J. Simpson? Was it a doc or the O.J. Simpson story? I think it was the documentary I saw on O.J. And he said they were getting ready to do this reality show about the Kardashian reality show. And O.J. was like, ain't nobody gonna watch no reality show with the Kardashians. People can't even pronounce the last name. And who knew that was gonna take off like that? Oh, my bad. I'm not sure what's going on. So yeah, my bad. That was unprofessional. But yeah, when OJ said that, I was like, oops. It's the same thing with Friends. In this business, you never know. You never know. So, but with the Menendez brothers, this is what I took out of it. I don't know what's true and what's not. Like, I'm sure 80% of it's true, but you always got to add a little HGH, a little steroids to make the show better. But what I do know is they would have never got caught if they would just shut the fuck up. It's their own fault. They did kill their parents. Whether there was sexual abuse or not sure. But all I'm saying is, if I did a crime of that magnitude, and I'm like, well, how can I get out of it? Oh, I'm going to say I was abused as a child, and I was sexually abused. Because then you're pulling on people's heartstrings and stuff like that. So whether it's true or not, I can't 100% say. Do I think it happened? Yeah. But I can't say 100%. I know. Nobody can. They killed the parents. But what didn't make them look good is as soon as their dad died and their mom that they shot and killed, They went on a spending spree. They was living life. Now, granted, they were 21 and 18, but just the lack of remorse and the lack of just almost PTSD that they went through. It's like they completely were happier when their parents was dead. But until Eric started having nightmares, then Eric went and talked to a therapist and said, yeah, we did it. After the cops were even looking for him. They would have completely got away with this shit. And he went to his therapist, and then the therapist told the side chick. The therapist was married, had a side chick, tells the side chick, hey, these guys, they're one of them's in my office right now. He said he killed his parents. If anything happens to me, I need you to verify you know who did it and come down to my office and sit in the lobby. So the side chick was on board, was keeping it a secret, and then they broke up. The therapist and the side chick broke up, and the side chick goes to the cops and tells the whole story. The brothers killed their parents. And then they start putting the piece together. And these stupid ass Menendez brothers, it's as well planned out and as thought out that they did this murder. The fact that they got caught because they couldn't keep their mouth shut is mind-boggling to me. Because if you can keep your mouth shut about leading up to the murder, you're not telling your friends, you're not telling anybody, then you pull it off. You're good. And the brother starts having nightmares. Goes to the therapist. Tells him I did it. The therapist can't tell the cops because it's like a attorney, client, therapist, client, privilege type shit. But he tells the side chick. Side chick tells the cops. They get caught. But the fact that you couldn't keep your mouth shut, and then here's the kicker. They start letting the therapist record their sessions. And I'm going. So now the therapist, once they busted the therapist, they had audio evidence of them saying we did it. And of course they're going to say, no, we were lying about that. We weren't telling the truth about that. And I'm just going, these two, as smart as they was, also stupid. Look, I'll just put it like this. Anybody out there, kill somebody. Don't tell nobody. Just keep it to yourself. I'm not saying to kill anybody. Keep it to yourself. It's like so many. If you watch the first 48, you watch Red Tree Stories on YouTube, so many people telling themselves and you literally the text will say, we ain't got nothing. If he doesn't confess, I don't know if we can lock him up. We ain't got much. And they manipulate these people to tell on themselves. And I'm just going, when Eric Menendez told the therapist, Lyle went through the roof. And then, keeps getting better. Then, they're in court. I didn't know the first trial was a mistrial. I'm going, okay. Come to find out, all the women felt bad for him. Almost like the mom type deal. Because they painted them as these sexually abused brothers. Even though they have money, the mom didn't stand up for him. The mom let all this physical, mental, sexual abuse happen. And then they couldn't take it anymore. And they painted the picture. They thought their lives were in danger, which I don't think was going to happen. But all the women on the jury was like, no, we can't put them away. We feel like they're our sons. And they were good-looking guys. I'm sure some of the jury chicks had crushes on them. It was the men. It was the men that was like, yeah, they did it. So there was a hung jury in the first trial. Fast forward years later, they get ready to do the second trial. The freaking brother Lyle, now he's got women writing him. He's like a sex symbol. And one woman who was like the first catfish talking to him. This stupid ass, again, if you didn't learn from the therapist, lets their conversations be recorded. And he's saying like, yo, you should see me on the stand. I was crying. There were people in the courtroom crying. The jurors were crying. They might as well let me out now. I'm good. I was like, so then the lawyer's like, yo, he goes, no, I didn't say that. They go, we got the tape. You straight up said it. You just told on yourself. I'm just going, these guys are something special. My thing with something like this, like when you kill your parents, and which is a disconnect, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a relationship with my biological father, my stepfather, my mother, but at no point did I think I want to kill them. And I got abused. I don't know sexual abuse, but I got the mental and the physical abuse. I just want to get away. But nobody had any money either. These guys were living large, and they didn't want to give up that lifestyle, but they didn't want to be around the parents. But they needed their parents to maintain their lifestyle. So it was just, it's so good. And I gave you the Cliff Notes version. And the crazy part is, the second trial with them, the reason it never registered what really happened, was basically at the same time OJ got busted. So all the media went from, we're done with these kids, we're moving on to OJ Simpson, and then he got all the attention after that, and the fact that OJ got off, they were saying, yo, too many of these celebrity cases, the celebrities getting off. We need a conviction, which didn't help their case anyways. So OJ getting off isn't the reason they got convicted, but it didn't help their case either. And then they got a scene where OJ's in the same prison as them and things. And since this has come out, I just saw that, like, probably 7-8 years ago, they finally got reunited. So they got sent to different prisons in California. Obviously they can't call each other, so they haven't like seen each other, heard each other's voice. And like 7 years ago, they finally brought them back together, and they were in the same prison. Can you imagine, as bad of a crime that is, and the punishment fits, they should be in jail. Can you imagine how that had to make them feel? Because right now they're probably institutionalized. Their life in Beverly Hills, as they knew it, was a dream. They're all about the prison life now, and to reunite with a family member, your brother, like that they were so tight. I can't imagine. It probably just gave them a second wind in life. So whenever like there's a murder or something like that, I'm always like, are they a threat to society? I'm not under the whole how some states got the death penalty, some don't. Also with some murders, I feel like is just so heartless, and I do feel like some people are threats to society, but I also feel like under what circumstances were some of these murders under? What was the age? What was their mindset? And I'm like, I don't know. The older I get, maybe I'm a little softer. Maybe I don't know. If you're like 18 years old and you didn't have no father figures, no mother, and the streets raised you, and you killed you're in the drug game, let's say, and you kill another drug dealer for whatever reason, do I feel like that circumstances should be life in prison with no parole? No. I feel like under those circumstances, society has failed that kid. If he had nobody else, no mom, no dad really actively in his life, and the streets raised you, in essence, and the only thing you saw was gangs, drugs, I'm like, that's a kid that needs his brain rewired and needs rehab. And I do believe he should be punished. Don't get it twisted. But do I think that person is just going to be a threat to society his whole life? Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't think we should just do life without the possibility of parole forever. Now, the Menendez brothers, that's where this gets interesting. 18 and 21, are they a threat to society? Do I think they would get out and kill again? No, I really don't. But within within this miniseries, they do think about killing the therapist because he knows all their secrets. And they're like, well, if we get rid of him, nobody else has our secrets. So maybe they're so young at that time, they got away with 2 murders. They're like, oh, we can keep getting away with this shit, but not thinking like at some point they're gonna figure it out. I don't know why, and also I don't know why lately I've been on these killing shows, these serial killers. I talked about the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez. I mean, I've read about it, but you gotta realize when the Menendez brothers happened, Richard Ramirez happened, there wasn't internet back then. You're going off the news and it'll pop up for a couple minutes on the evening news and then it's gone. And then you might see an article in the paper and then it's gone. Charles Manson, that's way before my time, but still. Now, murders happen. Somebody does some crime like this, it's all over everywhere. Like Scott Peterson. I mean, what I've noticed though, with the Menendez brothers, now they're trying to get a new trial. Scott Peterson trying to get a new trial. It's like you can put doubt into just about anything anymore, no matter what. So I don't know. I'm interested to hear everybody's comments that have watched this, and now they're coming out with a documentary on Netflix about the Menendez brothers also. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts. One thing I could have did without, it was very gay. Very gay. I was like, there were so many, like, a little much. They got one scene where Eric's in the shower, and the prison shower, and this black dude kind of like became his friend, and they kind of insinuate something might have happened between them, but they never really show it. And then there's a scene in the shower where he's just sitting there, and then the black guy's looking at him, and they just turned around and they make sure they show his cock, and then he's just sitting there, and the black guy's like showing his, but they don't really show the black guy's cock. They just show the actor playing Eric Menendez's cock, and then they're just sitting there soaping it up, and I'm going, what was that? We didn't need the full frontal on that. We really didn't. It's like some of the frontal scenes I see in movies, I'm like, what was going on with the director right there? No, this is art. I don't know. I had a nude scene once in a movie called College, and they never showed my front, even though when we shot it, my front was out. But when the movie came out, they just showed my butt, but they didn't show the front. So, and I'm sure there's a lot of people right now like, what's that movie called? It's called College. Still go watch it. I still get residual checks from it. So still go watch it. So enough about the Menendez brothers. Go watch it. 9-part series on Netflix.